He's grabbed and he's going to be sacked.
Broncos country, what is going on? It is time for your horsepower hour. We have a wonderful show planned for you. Of course, we'll talk about the win over the Raiders. You guys might have forgotten we actually won that game despite the discourse ever since. We're going to get into some stock up, stock down, mainly some great hypothetical giddy ups or hold your horses from Jeremy, and of course, talk about the upcoming game against the 5-4 Kansas City Chiefs. Want to say welcome to everybody in the chat. We got Pro 16 already in here. Make sure to get to some of your comments in a bit, but let's just start out, guys, with a quick takeaway from Thursday's game against the Raiders. Hey, this can be about Bo Nix. This can be about another aspect of the team. But Mark, why don't we start with you and we can work our way around?
I feel like this game was like 5 weeks ago for some reason. You know, it was just on Thursday, but it seems like it was so long ago. Obviously a very ugly win. And we thought we thought we kind of defined what ugly win meant this year, but that was like another level of ugly, no doubt about it. I mean, I said it in the post game with Jeremy. I thought that was the worst offensive performance in the Sean Payton era, obviously in Bo Nix's era. But I also believe that there's plenty of blame to go around everywhere. It's important to keep in context that, you know, the Raiders always play us really well. They're always a big thorn in our side. Thursday night games are obviously very annoying. And this team played, you know, won 7 games in a span of 39 days over a million different time zones, bunch of traveling, bunch of comeback, very emotional wins. So I think this team is very drained. They're very tired. It's nice to have a little, because as a fan, I feel tired. So they seemed like they were tired. They eked out a win, but let's not let it, you know, take us and make us forget about the fact that, guys, we are 8-2, 8-2. We won 7 in a row. We are tied for the top of not just the AFC West. We're winning the AFC West of the conference. So let's all relax, take a step back, and then we can make judgments on a week by week basis about this team moving forward.
Wonderfully said, Mark. Jeremy, what do you think?
Well, nothing will like wake you up to actual reality, like somebody coming down with a cancer diagnosis that are out of nowhere. That should make people stop worrying about what the fans say, what the media says. Who cares really when people's lives are at risk, you know, for those kind of things. So I'm just, I hope that like grounds some people back to reality of like, what are we doing this for? What's actually important? And, you know, I have some questions later going on, like just the overall discourse of the last week. Yeah, man, Kodiak, I offended him. No, but it's more of like, I just don't know how we've gotten to the point where we're 8-2 and mad. Like, if you would have told me that's even possible, you know, I mean, I don't care if people call us frauds or one and dones if we get the play, whatever. It's like we're 8-2. It's all just like, just take a bigger picture of where we're at, and let's just understand that. And no, we shouldn't pat ourselves on the back, but at the same time, it's like just to be up in arms about it is crazy to me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Kodiak, you have returned.
I have.
What do you have to say?
Man, so that felt gross, and it should feel gross for everybody involved. Like, there are a lot of excuses as to why, and a lot of reasons as to why that absolute disaster happened. But the reality of the situation is you shouldn't feel good about that game if you're Denver. Like, there's a lot of things that you can pull from and look at a bigger picture. But, you know, I said it, I don't feel any differently than I did when I first watched the game. I don't feel any better about the game, even though it's been a few days and I've had a couple days to digest it. But what I do feel better about is the season in general. Okay. We are 8-2. We're in a very, very good position to get spot in the playoffs. We're honestly in a position to go for this division crown, which that's more than you could say over the past like 7-8 years. Okay. You know, how many years has it been since we were 8-2? 10?
since 2015.
Yeah. I remember I was there watching CJ Anderson run on the way to the end zone in the snow. So, yeah, just enjoy the Mile High Magic while it's lasting. But, yeah, that's overall my thoughts on the season in general.
Yeah, man, I'm so happy that this team is 8-2. And have they played perfectly? Absolutely not. But the fact is that we're not playing perfect ball every week, and we're 8-2, man. Like, that's a huge win. I still think, man, we can clean up the penalties. I think a lot of the stuff that we're failing at or struggling at is absolutely correctable on the offensive end. We have a real defense that can carry, a mediocre offense far. But we just need that offense moving forward to at least be mediocre, man. That's all we need. But I think some of the Bo criticism obviously has been a little overblown. And that's what happens, hey, when you play an ugly game on primetime football. I mean, we're getting one right now. It's finally 3-0 Eagles over the Packers. But you haven't had the greatest quarterback play, and you have probably close to, $500 million worth of quarterback contracts on the field for this game. So it's, we're not the only team that has had struggling offenses from week to week, but ultimately, man, just really proud of this team. Let's get to some stock up, stock down really quick. And Jeremy, we can start with you. We can go for a couple rounds here. We'll keep it short from the Raiders game. Go whatever direction you want. Stock up, stock down. Let's hear it.
Stock down was my eyes. No, I'm just kidding. I have to say, like, I know that it took them a little while to kind of see what we got and get going. I'm not saying we have seen all what we're going to get, but Jahdae Barron for the second straight week or two out of the last 3 weeks has shut down a major tight end weapon. And that was our Achilles heel. And if you would have told me when we drafted him that this was going to be our tight end stopper or whatever you want to call it, I would have taken that all day, because that was the one thing that Vance was always struggling with. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to happen forever or anything, but like, you could say Ferguson for Dallas was a fluke or maybe just a one-off, but now with Bowers, the week that he had before that coming in, that was impressive. So huge to Jahdae Barron.
Love it, man. Yeah. I think a lot of us were kind of frustrated too with linebacker, because like that also goes in with stopping the tight ends, but Jahdae has been absolutely part of that, and it's been huge for this defense. Mark, where are you going with your first?
Stock up is going to be my guy JL Skinner, man. Look at that. Look at that. An absolutely miserable special teams season. The special teams has been an absolute trash can. Shout out to Kodiak. He's made a whole lot of videos outlining that. But what do you know, man? The game-winning play was on a blocked punt by JL Skinner, who actually got such a good rush, the ball hit him in the face, which that's pretty damn impressive. Like, it's not like you're putting your hand out to try to block it. You were so far, like you were so close to the punter that he punted into your face. So I want to give a stock up for my guy JL Skinner, because you know what, the special teams deserve a little bit of love for that game.
Yeah, did he have to go into concussion protocol for taking that punt like straight to the face?
It seemed like he was either dazed or like he was very confused. He's like, "Did I just block that? I don't even know really what happened." But I don't think he's on the in the concussion protocol. But we'll find out Wednesday, I guess.
I guess we will, man. I guess we will. Kodiak, where are you going with yours?
Sorry, David. This guy's won us games all year. Like, I'll flat out come out and say it. Like, he's put our defense in some great positions in crucial situations this entire season. But holy cow. Like, I don't know what was going on with Jeremy Crawshaw on Thursday night. Like,
windy,
I don't know. The fact that we won the game and the fact that we can sit here and laugh about it, like, that's what makes the whole thing better. Like, had we lost, like, it didn't hurt us, like, in the grand scheme of things. Like, I don't know. I don't remember where the Raiders started with the ball on the Genty touchdown drive or whatever. But ultimately, like, we can sit back and laugh. We can be like, all right, whatever. We'll take a bad game from the punter. But yeah, unequivocally, or whatever the word is, stock down Jeremy Crawshaw. Like, that was pretty rough. But hey, he made the game-winning hold on Less's field goal. So yeah.
You love it, man. Yeah, I felt bad. I felt like I cursed him for glazing him so much this week leading up to the game. So, yeah, I'm going to start with a stock down. We'll see if anybody takes who I'm going to do as a stock up later on. But Rowan beat me to it, man. Dude, I have loved the Mercedes Lewis story. I have loved it. 41 years old. The dude's a tank. He had like one good block I remember on Max Crosby to start the game, but this guy's played in 2 games, and I think he's got 3 penalties for us, man. Unacceptable, man. This guy's 41 years old. He's a veteran. These should not be issues for him. They said he could block. Well, then don't get holding penalties. You're 41 years old, man. Don't be jumping off sides or false starting. It has it's been one of those moves when Sean Payton does it, it's like a Sean Payton bong hit acquisition. You're like pumped about it, right? And with the bong hit acquisitions from Sean Payton, I'm always going to be excited. I'm always initially going to have an optimistic view. But maybe we stop taking bong hit acquisition picks on tight ends, man. Caleb Lohner, now Mercedes Lewis. It has not worked out. And Mark, we should have traded for Taysom Hill, man. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Dude, we should have. I was watching a little bit of that Saints game. They had him lining up everywhere, man. He's like such a Swiss Army knife. He's just fun to watch. They're like fullback, no problem. Quarterback, you got it. You need me to run the ball? Sweet. Block, no problem. Like it's pretty cool. We could use somebody like that.
I know. So maybe we can get him in free agency at 36 for like a vet minimum, but that would have been a fun trade target.
Yeah.
And maybe this is the last game we get a Mercedes Lewis. Hopefully we can have Nate Atkins back soon. But yeah, a quick stock up a little bit to Adam Prentice. He's only on the field for like 10 snaps max a game, but I like what he did this past game. So Jeremy, we'll pass it to you for another round here.
All right. Well, man, I thought it's really sad, but J.K. Dobbins was playing another good game, and his stock was just continuing to rise. I hope, he was complaining about hip drop tackles, and that looked like that was. Hopefully, I haven't heard like the severity of it, but that's going to be a guy we might be missing here. It's tough to, finally get our chance at the Chiefs at home, and then you're missing the PS2, you're missing Dobbins, you're going to miss like some of these key guys. So, but another stock up for him. He always is, he's been one of the signings that has just been absolutely why we are 8-2 and
Yes.
Underrated.
Facts. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, me too.
I think so. It doesn't seem like it's as bad as it personally, but we're not going to, they don't even dare to ask Sean about it. They're like too scared to even ask about injuries.
Luka Evans hasn't?
No.
He's not scared to ask Sean anything.
Evan has not. Evan has learned his lesson.
Yeah, let's go. All right, Mark, who you got?
Oh man, my stock. I'm gonna do another stock up because I don't want to. I did a stock up. Yeah, I did. I did another stock up. So my stock up is a man that maybe he could be our new Taysom Hill. Maybe he's playing on the wrong side of the ball, and that is my guy Dondrea Tillman. Man,
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, leading the team in interceptions is pretty damn impressive. But what's even more impressive is both of his returns were absolutely elite.
Mhm.
Absolutely elite. Juking guys out of his boots, getting skinny, getting yards on the return. Man, I love Dondrea Tillman and what I've seen from him on that. So huge stock up to him. That was fun to see, man. Because the first time it happens, you kind of think maybe it's an anomaly. Maybe he was just really, really juiced. But this one, he's even got some burst to him. He had to have played like running back or tight end or something.
He played tight end, yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And he was in the XFL. They should have used him at some other position. But man, you talked about Mercedes Lewis, David, right?
Yeah.
And maybe being done with that experiment, bro. Line up Dondrea Tillman. We know he could block. He can shed blocks, so that means he could probably block, right?
Mm-hmm.
And throw him a couple passes, see what happens.
I'm impressed by his hands because he's gotten blindside hit twice with the football and didn't cough it up either time. And that's always the thing I'm so worried about a big guy with. I'm like, don't fumble the ball, just, go down. And he 2 times, a guy came from behind him, swiped at it, nothing. This time, I think Mayer came from the side, didn't see him, nothing. So, yeah, impressive.
All right, Kodiak.
Week after week, it seems like we're just talking about this guy being a stock up. And if you guys remember who I said was the worst starter on the Broncos defense last year, it was PJ Locke. But when you replace him with a guy like Talanoa Hufanga and we're getting all pro safety play again, like, man, oh man. Because think about it. Last year, I felt like we were just really missing that edge against the competitive teams, okay? Loss of capital, loss of cap space. So you didn't have the roster quality to really have that juice against the upper echelon of AFC teams. But you know what? I'm not scared of that anymore, especially on the defensive side of the ball, because we're not going to have, UDFA safety just getting burned over the top. Instead, we have all pro safety play. And this guy lines up everywhere, okay? He lines up in the box. He lines up as a center fielder. He lines up, going down or whatever. But ultimately, I love Talanoa Hufanga. He is so sick. And he has been an incredible acquisition for the Broncos, okay? Shout out to Mark, because Hufanga was one of those guys that he kind of passed me by in free agency, all right? Like, he kind of passed me by in free agency, and then Mark was the only one of us that was, like, really in on him. So shout out to Mark for that.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Mark knows ball. You know who Mark was also very big on? Oh, no. Turn off the camera.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, shit.
I know.
Well, you're gonna have to stay tuned and find out later.
I
Yeah,
know,
that was
right?
While we
All
do
right.
that,
the tease right
let's do
there.
one of
I
our
know.
sponsors here.
All right, here I am. Oh no!
were-
All right, here we go. Hopefully, I can focus again. Okay, but you know who else Mark was big on? It was Pat Bryant, man. It was Pat Bryant. I remember Pat Bryant, his name being brought up by Mark during the Senior Bowl, saying, "You know what? I just watched an interview, and I know Sean Payton would love this dude." You're absolutely right. Led the team with yards with 43 on one reception. He had another great reception that was called back due to the refs always ruining our momentum. They do it every year or every game. But Pat Bryant, I would like to see him get involved more, particularly because I think he could have the most reliable hands on the team with how often the rest of our guys are dropping passes. So we'll
Love
see.
me some Pat Bryant, baby. And he's like completely eliminated Sherfield, like completely. Like Sherfield at the beginning, I think the first week or so was playing like 50% of the snaps, and now he's playing like 10%. So
Yeah, Sherfield blows chunks though. We don't need to talk about him.
yeah, he does.
He's a new little Jordan Humphrey. Okay, let's go for one more round, if you guys are cool with that, and then we can get into Giddy Up. Jeremy, who do you got?
Let's see. You know what? I always feel like we kind of forget about the guys that we just start expecting it from, but the combination of both, Nick Bonito and Zach Allen, again, I mean, they're just destroying teams single-handedly. I feel like, we always call a defensive struggle or a defensive game ugly for whatever reason, but man, if you like defense, that was nothing but beautiful. So they just are coming week after week. And I mean, like I've said before, it's nice to see guys get paid and then elevate the game instead of rest on.
Yes. I don't know about y'all because I didn't do like any post game with y'all after the game, but I was thoroughly entertained, even though that was a very ugly offensive game. I loved seeing our defense ball out, man.
Yeah.
I loved
It was stressful and it was very annoying, but it was very much entertaining at the same time. Like even the cross-shot punt that was as if like I was punting it. The fact that it even went like 30 yards still, I think, because it got a nice little bounce, was enough entertainment for me for the night too, man. I was dying on that.
Facts, man.
Man,
all right, Mark, who you got?
Real quick.
Oh, yeah?
I just wanted to say like my story about watching that game. I was flying back from Las Vegas, and there was a Raiders fan literally in the seat in front of me to the left. And he's looking at like the updates on his phone while we're flying. I'm not exactly sure how, but like he couldn't watch the game, but he could just see like play by play. And I'm like, okay, I have like a superstition. Don't listen to anything. Don't watch anything while the game's going off. I can't watch the game, but I'm just watching his body language. And in that fourth quarter, just watching him just getting more and more like depressed. At first he was like, oh, we got a chance here. And then just to see him shrivel up, put his hoodie over his head and then kind of shrink down. And I was like, we won. I know we won. That was like, I don't know how ugly it was. Everybody said it was ugly, but that was so fun to watch.
I love that. Real quick, shout out to Sethoid saying Quinn Miters, man, he's out here pancaking the inside linebackers, hasn't given up more than a few pressures. Healthy, yes, he's eating stunts for breakfast. He's been fantastic. Rowan saying stock up to Mike McGlinchey. I've loved how our offensive line has played. Mark, we're up to you.
Yeah, the whole line is fire, man. I mean, our O line, I mean, even Wattenberg is playing decent, you know, and Palcho, just stick him wherever you want, and he's gonna be good. So that's awesome. All right, it had to be said today, guys. Stock down is Bo Nix's footwork. At least you're gonna talk about something specific. His feet were all over the place, man. I don't know what was going on. I joked that I made a joke when we were golfing on Saturday, I believe, or on Friday. I made a joke that I think maybe like it seemed like before the game or maybe before the season, like Bo Nix got like an Adderall prescription for the first time, right? Because, you know, maybe he's trying to focus better and he knows he's got so much things that Sean Payton's throwing at him. And he's just like juiced out. Very, very happy feet. It was better over the previous few games for sure, but I don't know what happened there. He had happy feet, and hopefully we never see those again. But my stock down was Bo Nix's footwork for sure, because that was a little bit frustrating to watch.
Facts.
And the Adderall wears off at the end of the third quarter.
That makes perfect sense. That's why he's so good in the fourth quarter, right? It's just everything lines up.
I can buy that. All right, Kodiak, last one.
All right. Well, first of all, I just want to shout out Sethioid in the comments because, man, oh man, he has some interesting comments on my channel, and they're always really, really long. So I want to shout out to you, Sethioid, because
Sethoid needs to start a YouTube channel.
I was about to say,
with how much work he's putting into those comments.
If you're gonna write me something this big, just start creating content, Seth. But either way, stock down. Okay, this guy has his place in the league, and I did ask you guys about him last week. But Tyler Bidet is currently playing his way off this roster. All right. I'm not ready to see Jaleel McLaughlin again. I'm not ready to see, that. But the way it's trending, we're going to need to upgrade that third running back spot next year. Like, Bidet has now dropped 2 easy screen passes that would have gone for first downs in back-to-back weeks. And when you are a third-string running back, granted, I don't know why they're so insistent on using him in a lot of those roles over Harvey. That being said, when you are a third-string running back, you need to maximize the most of your opportunities on the field. And Bidet, I did think he did that at certain points this season. Like, he did have a couple like nice third and longs against the Chargers and the Colts. That being said, he is currently I'm close to saying I've seen enough of Tyler Bidet. Now, I'm not saying we need to see Jaleel McLaughlin. Like Mark said last week, we don't owe Jaleel McLaughlin anything. There's a lot of Jaleel stands out there on Twitter that's like, Jaleel wouldn't have dropped that passes. Well, guess what? Jaleel also wouldn't have picked up those first downs that Bidet did. So I'm fine with the boomer bust guy as our third down running back. But Bidet is currently he's on my short list as far as the guys that have probably had the worst season on the Broncos this year.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, if JK doesn't play this week, you're going to see a lot more than just third downs from Bidet. And he's definitely going to outsnap RJ Harvey, in my opinion. So we better hope that he looks good. And I think he's actually probably better suited to that role than like touching the ball twice. So
I think he just needs to get a run. Like, give him the ball one time for a run and then throw him a screen pass. But if you throw him a screen pass like straight away, it seems like he always is going to drop the first one for whatever reason. He did that in the first week of the season too. It's like almost like you almost just need that, like, you need to get everybody's like, if you've been hurt, I got to get hit once, Bo needs to just get an easy throw, whatever. Same thing with him. He just needs to get his hands on the ball once and then he'll be all right.
Yeah. I'm going back on my take that I had like last week saying, you know what, man, Tyler Bidet deserves these, 10 snaps he's getting a game. No, not after Thursday. I'm off that train. And might I say, if JK is going to miss some time, we need somebody that can get those tough yards for us. RJ is a little small. Jaleel, Tyler Bidet don't exactly profile as that kind of guy either. Jamal Williams, can we sign him on the practice squad? Who Who's that other back that we got on the practice squad that's like 5'6"? He's not that either.
Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah.
Deuce
Yeah,
Vaughn,
right.
and he's not that either. We got a bunch of small running backs. This could be an issue, and makes you wish we had Taysom Hill. The other guy that I'll end this on, stock up, because we haven't really talked much about him, but I think that he is improving. Mark, you mentioned him. Luke Wattenberg.
Yes.
Luke Wattenberg. I think that hopefully he might have like turned the corner a little bit over these last few games. Granted, PFF, take it with a huge grain of salt, but he has been graded very well, and I don't really think he's given up many pressures at all. Let me go ahead and check here. But I guess it's more the run blocking, which we have issues with. But they've logged him for 1 pressure over the last 3 games. So had a tough game against the New York Giants, but against Dallas, Houston, and Las Vegas, he's had some good performances. So we'll see if he can stack that against Chris Jones this week. You know, Chris Jones and Palcho, these guys got their work cut out for him going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. But hey, Luke Wattenberg, stock is rising with you. Yep. So we'll see how it goes. Any last comments on the Raiders game, or shall we get to giddy up or hold your horses?
My only
Last
comment
thing is the Raiders are
Go ahead.
trash, bro.
Yeah,
Dude,
The
they
Raiders
suck.
are trash. We put out the worst performance arguably in the last several years. And they just did, we're going to one-up you in terms of being terrible. So that's always a good thing.
And I was just going to I know it's ugly to watch and it's prime time and all that stuff, but like it's just a divisional Thursday night game after you're playing the number 1 defense on the road. It was never going to be pretty ever. And I like we said last week on this show, we were worried about this game. This game was not a game that I had good feelings going into it. And it just felt like we were worn down, and it was ugly. It was uglier than I even thought it was going to be, but I thought it was going to be ugly. So I know everybody's like taking this as like, oh, we didn't beat the Raiders by 1 million, so we suck. And it's just like, well, look what happened with the Bills yesterday. Look at what happened in the divisional games. You just don't know.
Look at the game tonight. Mark is saying it too. Is the national media going to flip out on Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts for their 0-3 game today? Are they just going to trash Bo Nix? Yeah, I'm seeing right now Jordan Love just drifting himself into pressures right now.
He's regressing.
Yeah, it's just.
All right, pull up the comment by La Raza del Boxio. He said, the one above, he said, your guy crazy. And then he says, Harvey's handpicked by the coach. Listen, I'll put my email in the comments here if you want. And if J.K. Dobbins doesn't play this week, I'll literally bet you $500 that Tyler Bidet gets more snaps and more carries than R.J. Harvey, guaranteed. And then we can see who's really crazy. That's the last thing I wanted to say there.
I think he'll get more snaps. I don't know about more carries, but
I think he's getting more carries too, bro.
Wow.
More carries, yes. More touches, a little wishy-washy in my opinion, but more carries. That makes sense.
I think he'll be the blocking back for sure.
Yeah, I mean he's going to be straight up the J.K. Dobbins role, and they're not going to want to change what they're doing with RJ. So he'll be the full-time guy. Well,
but do you think I think it'd be smart to run Prentice on like 2nd and short, 3rd and short, like instead of necessarily giving it to Bidet? I think he's earned that. I thought he's played actually very well.
He's been good in short yardage carries.
Yeah, so
I think RJ would be good in short yardage too. I'd like to see him out of the Wildcat more as well, because he's like shorter, so harder to see. But I mean, he's a pretty stockier guy. But yes, I mean I get it. Like RJ Harvey's his handpicked guy, but Tyler Bidet is the little Jordan Humphrey of the running back room. I mean, I don't know what he's done, but Sean Payton loves him, so he's here to stay, whether you like it or not.
Dude, sign Jamal Williams, man. Sign him to the practice squad. That's what I want to see. Okay. Well, Jeremy, it's your time to shine.
All right. Let's do a little hold your horses or giddy up. We were just talking about this player. I'm gonna go Kodiak here. Okay. Do you think J.K. Dobbins and not PS2 would be the bigger loss against the Chiefs?
No. Here's why. Like, listen, going up against Patrick Mahomes without the defensive player of the year, like, I'm sorry, that's just too tall of a task. I know Moss has played very well on Thursday night. I know that J-Mac, Chris Abrams-Drain, Barron, they've all been up for the challenge, but just simply due to the fact that if you're going to win this game, I think most of the people are going to expect the defense to play their hearts out. And, it's kind of up in the air what the offense is going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if they laid another egg. I wouldn't be surprised if they went on a tear in this game. But ultimately, I say no for now. Like, yes, Dobbins would be a huge loss for our offense, and I don't even want to think about what we would look like without him. But still, if I have to choose one for this game, I'm still picking PS2.
Yeah. And the fact that that's even like a question about when we signed Dobbins, that who's more important to have, J.K. Dobbins or PS2, shows you how great of a year J.K. Dobbins has had. Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. I think I agree, but like if we go out and cannot run an inch, it might flip back.
I want to piggyback on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kodiak. Like, okay, if it's a light or a mild foot sprain or whatever, all the fantasy doctors are saying he's out, 1 to 3 weeks maximum. Do you think he's playing this upcoming week if he's not 100%, or would you save him to come back after the bye week?
Man, I don't know, man. Like, with what we've seen with NFL coaches being very, very, how do I put this? Like, almost stubborn when it comes to injuries this year. Like, you saw Dable earlier in this year on Thursday night. You saw, what's his name? Geno against us, and the Raiders just kept throwing him out there. You saw CJ Stroud or whatever, and the coaches being stubborn there. Like, listen, man, just due to the fact, like, I feel like we'd be pretty responsible, okay? We're not in a position where our coach's job is going to be at risk if we lose to the Chiefs. We're not going to be in a position where we need to just throw him out there for the sake of throwing him out there, okay? Plus, wear and tear is a very real thing. If you play college football or Madden, you know that the wear and tear slider, it really affects guys. And why would you have Dobbins at 50%? Like, I don't think Dobbins at 50% is better than Bidet or Harvey. I think, any running back at 50% would be pretty poor in the NFL. So that's just all I got to say, is that I don't think they would play him. I don't.
It feels like that tweet that he was so pissed about the hip drop thing lets me think that, and the second opinion makes me think that that injury is a little worse than just.
I'm worried about it.
A couple days.
Well, Audric Estime is still on the waiver wire.
No, he's not. He's not with the Saints. He's on the Saints 53.
What?
Yeah.
Huge loss. Well, that's why we got to get Jamal Williams.
Yeah. He played a few special team snaps, and that was about it. I got one thing to say about this game though, too, is that if what we should do? It'll offset the PS2 being out 100%. It was just a 1-day contract. That's it. 1-day contract. We signed Justin Simmons. That guy always intercepts Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
He is like the king of intercepting Patrick Mahomes. So bring him off his couch, let him come in, make a pick, and then you can just cut him on
anytime the Kansas City gets in the red zone, that's when he really shines. He'll bait him into throwing something. All right, I'm gonna go David for the second one. Sean and Bo and the offense will get back on track in KC against KC, or is going to take this game plus the bye week before you start to see some improvements.
Can you define on track?
Back on track would be at least I think we were like the 10th rated offense like a couple weeks ago. Are we going to be like at least middle of the pack offense against KC?
Giddy up, man. I believe. And this team gets up for its toughest games and its biggest opponents, man. We're not scared of the Chiefs. We proved that last year with how we played them in KC. We haven't been scared of anybody that we've played this year. So I think the time off will benefit everybody. And most notably, hopefully, the offense just kind of decompress. They got back to work today. A lot of this stuff is just correctable, man. All it is penalties. It's like concentration drops, things like that. Yep. Like, again, I've been spamming it the whole time. Go look at Benny Fowler's film review on Friday of the game. Like, some of those concepts in which Bo's not hitting the guy downfield, we've seen him make those throws. Like, that's the thing. It would be one thing if we just haven't seen it, but we have seen him make those throws, and we have seen him throw into difficult windows. At those parts of the field that he's just not hitting right now. So, yes, I'm optimistic about, even though we're going up against a good defense, us having an NFL average offensive day at home. I think that's feasible.
Yeah. This team seems to be rise and settled to the whatever level of competition they're playing. And then if they get behind, that's when they're like, okay, now we got to turn it on. And they have the ability to do that. But against Kansas City, I think that they're going to walk in knowing that it's going to take all 53 guys focused, and you can't mess around, especially hearing all of the stuff that they've heard since Thursday has been so insane that I think that they're going to be pretty fired up. And Sean today even said, we'll be ready. And usually when he says stuff like that, he's feeling a certain way about it.
Dude, I mean, even just going back to like Vic Fangio and, well, not Nate Hackett. I don't even remember what happened, but even before last year, I just feel like we normally have some of our best like team outings against Kansas City every year. Like, they always bring the best out of us.
Yeah. It takes
remember we were down 27-0, and then Russell Wilson and Jerry Jeudy were like crawling us and crawling us back. Then Russ got concussed. Man.
I don't even remember that game.
Yeah, it was a very forgetful season.
Yeah,
guys, isn't it crazy how like what changes in a year? It just crossed my mind. So it was literally exactly a year ago when the Broncos played the Chiefs in Kansas City and lost on that heartbreaking field goal block, and we went to 5-5. But like, we were all so optimistic as a fan base. Like, we had them. Bo Nix looked great. We're 5-5, like whatever. But we're
coping like the Giants fans losing to us.
Yeah. And then now we're 8-2, coming off an ugly loss, and everyone's freaking out. It's like, it's crazy how different it is. Like, we looked really good in that loss, even though we scored 14 points. People forget that we didn't really score a lot. Our defense played well, but we liked it because we brought them to the brink. But now this year we're 8-2, and it's like, it's a mess and everything sucks and we're awful. So it's just crazy how perspective is, man.
That was going to be one of my questions coming up here and I'll let me ask you, Mark, because it's your turn, and then I'm going to ask you that question. I'll just piggyback right into it. But the Broncos, not the Chiefs, need this game more. What do you think?
Oh, the Broncos, not the Chiefs, need this game more. That's a good question, man. I think, how do I even? Because I kind of thought about this a little bit. Like, I feel like they technically do need it more, but then again, they don't, because really, Kansas City just needs to get into the playoffs.
Because they got the refs.
And they got the refs. I would say no. I would say no. The Chiefs don't need it more than we do. In a sense of like, for us, I think it's really a mindset thing. We didn't beat the Chiefs last year when we played them, and then we played their third stringers, but that didn't really count. So I think it'll be good to know for this team, like, all right, we're 8-2, but we are ready to not just win our division, but dethrone the guys that have dominated this division for 9+ years. So I think it's really important for us, especially at home, or else you're gonna have to go do it on Christmas Day in their house. And another thing too is, man, like with the Chiefs, like I said, I always feel like they kind of use the regular season to experiment, to figure things out, to kind of see how it rolls, and they become really dangerous once they get into the playoffs. I mean, last year was a proof of that. Until the Super Bowl, they just ran over everybody in the playoffs that they really wanted to, or played at least really well, to the point where you can see why. So yeah, I think it's still a bigger game for the Broncos. We haven't done anything to dethrone them. They've been the champions for 9 years straight now. So yeah, this allows for us to bury them straight up.
Yeah,
or put them in a really shitty position.
And that's the opportunity, right? Because if you win this game, you go to 9-2, they go to 5-5, and they are in desperate situation where we're sitting great and we have confidence. But it's that mental final boss. It feels like, we've beaten them before. We understand them. It's a division game, all those things. But like, it's the mental knowing. It's like when you play your brother or something in sports, and it's like, you might be better than most of the people in varsity, but you can't beat your brother. And then as soon as, like Michael Jordan was always saying, as soon as I could beat my brother, I could beat anybody in the world, because that was the hurdle for him.
Mhm.
And for us, for the last little bit, it's been this Chiefs team. And, I thought we would have had a really good chance to beat them if we saw them in the playoffs. We didn't. And so now it's like, okay. And with all the drama, all the things, we've given ourselves a perfect opportunity to really, really put them behind the eight ball, and like, do not squander that.
Yep.
To jump on to that next question for you, Mark, this is one of the thoughts I was thinking. And like I said, you guys were on the mic'd up Saturday pod, and I said this in the chat, but it feels like the fan base has gone from like desperately trying to get a date to marrying a Victoria's Secret model in like one season. But it's like, how did we get like so entitled and impatient in 1 year? And that's going back to what you were just saying. A year ago, we're 5-5 and feeling great. Now we're 8-2 and we're like, on the ledge. Like, what's going on with us?
I think the first thing is like, I think expectations obviously drastically change. I mean, when you finally turn the corner, you feel like you got your franchise quarterback, you got a coach, you make the playoffs after a long time. Like, the expectations this year was to compete for a Super Bowl, or at least have the Super Bowl window open. I don't think anyone really thought that was the case last year. So I think expectations is one. And number two, I think it's that you've had a lot of closet Bo Nix haters that kind of went away for a long time.
Yeah.
Because they didn't really have a reason to. That like all just came crawling out of nowhere. And I know this because it's like, dude, you just see the activity level on all platforms like crazy. People, like, you go look at their profile and they don't even like interact at all on Twitter, but this is like their opportunity. So I think there's a lot of that too. It's like, they just want to come out and be like, told you I was right. I've been saying this the whole time. I hated the draft pick. And so it was kind of like their moment to shine a little bit. So I think that's what it was. And the fact that it was on national television doesn't help. And also another reason why is because I was defending Bo Nix really, really hard this last week after the Houston game, because a lot of people were kind of coming at me, and I was like super hard defending him. So because I did that, just like because David was defending the hell out of Jeremy Crawshaw, it happens, dude. If you look at every single bet that I place, you would understand that I'm cursed with certain things. So.
Well, that's why you have to bet. Like, everybody out there, like, if I was betting on this game, I'm betting on the Chiefs, because it's like, I will make the Broncos lose if I bet on them. So I'll bet on the Chiefs, and then it gives me the chance to actually lose the bet, but the Broncos win. But even if the Chiefs do end up winning, at least I get something out of it. So that's where I do it. Yep. But I don't bet. So that's probably why.
Smart.
Don't we all love the emotional hedge?
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you
guys
guys
get
think?
myself to do it though? I can't bet against the Broncos.
No, I'm not like, I don't know. I don't mess around with any of that stuff.
Yeah. It's dangerous.
You think about who needs the game more? Is that the question, Jeremy?
No, just like perspective, overall perspective of like the fan base. It's like, why is this fan base so upset? And I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't. Let's be honest too. Like, we only hear like the people, the trolls. But like, it does seem like we should be happier at 8-2, or most people should be.
Yeah. I really do think it's with the defense, and again, Bo being in his second year. I mean, we all came out with, takes over the summer about how, man, there's no sophomore slump, man. We got a better team around Bo Nix, but there have been some areas in which, he's not performing as well as he did last year. So I can understand the frustration, but I'm reminded of, the people who really know football. They talk about how quarterback progression is not linear, and we're living through that, man. Again, I think some of the, real X's and O guys can break it down, but I think it's pretty clear that defenses have adjusted to what he does well. And so he's having to now beat these defenses in different ways sometimes. But again, he's smart. He loves football. He's got all the physical tools that you'd want. I think it's only a matter of time. And again, we want to compare him to Hall of Fame quarterbacks, right? Because we see him as being that franchise guy. But is this not the year of just showing people, like, this is why you don't make a conclusion on quarterbacks after, a couple of years with what we've seen out of Sam Darnold or Daniel Jones or Baker Mayfield, or if you want to go back again, Drew Brees, was kind of middle of the road there until like his 4th or 5th year. He was in the league a long time before he started to have like a Hall of Fame career. So this isn't anything that I'm going to be overblowing about. Again, I think the biggest thing that I'm encouraged by is, hey, there's one thing that you can't teach, and that's the clutch gene. You know who didn't have the clutch gene? Freaking Derek Carr, baby.
That's true. Some people shrink. Yep.
Yeah.
No,
And
I did not think you were going to say Derek Carr.
Oh, there's a lot of people who get him that, but yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
That's one of
Derek
them.
Carr, there you go.
yeah, Derek Carr, because like people want to say, hey, we could be in the Derek Carr to Tagovailoa or whatever, to a Tagovailoa, whatever conversation, with him. But we are so far away from having to determine giving him a massive contract extension. There's just no need to even be panicking about that yet with his cap hit percentage right now. And if things get bad or you're still not sold, you can franchise him, you can transition tag him. You don't have to give him a Tua contract without him proving it. But I believe that he will be worth that money one day.
Yeah. And I think Seth Theroids, the last thing he said is how I feel a lot of times too. Like if you listen to the former players and not the football dorks, but like the actual people that like bled, and sweat out on the field and like gave everything for this game. Those guys are like ride or die for Bo Nix. Those are like your Aqib Talibs and your Jake Plumbers. And those are the guys who are like, did he win or not? Like that's all they care about. They don't care about EPA per play and blah, blah, blah. And I know we're friends with a lot of those people too, but like a lot of those people are like putting something in slow motion and be like, well, if you just look right here, he's missing the dagger. And Jake, yeah, he did miss it. He missed it. You're right. But like, you know how hard it is to win football games, especially in the fourth quarter. So it's just like, that's all I cared about. Thank God back in John Elway's era, like we didn't have any of these people. They didn't have a platform to
would have written them off, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We would have like killed those guys. Like John Elway would have been, oh, he's, washed or whatever they want to say, or he can't win the big one. They did say that, until he did. But it's just interesting to hear all those people, you know what I mean? It's just like, well, I'll take stock in the Aqib Talibs who have a chip, who have like the skins on the wall. Those are the guys who are like, I believe in this guy. That's all I need to hear personally.
Yeah. You know what stats I care about? Sacks. All right, Kodiak, what you got?
All right. First of all, I just want to give a huge shout out to Gregory because I see him trolling my comments. I see him trolling Mark's comments all the time, talking about Cortland Sutton. So glad we finally caught you on a live show. But I think on this panel, I'm the one who's been the most negative since Thursday. And I'm going to kind of like just explain where I'm coming from. Okay. Like, I'm not one of those people. I feel way better about the state of this team than I did a year ago today. Okay. Even after the Casey blocked kick, when a lot of the fan base I've never seen the fan base so optimistic after a loss, which, we had reasons for optimism about that. We have just so much optimism as a franchise right now. Here's why I think I'm not really, I'm kind of pushing back on all the like, how do you put this? All the whatever for Bo Nix lately. I'm not one of those people that's going to slander him and like discourse him, but I think it's completely valid to be disappointed by what we've seen this year, because we said all offseason,
Sure.
all right, we're going to finally get him some real weapons. Okay. We went out and signed Ingram. Ingram has not been very good. I guess that's another stock down right there. We're going to go out and get a run game, because we had literally the worst run game in the NFL last year. If you took out Bo Nix, if you took out the quarterback, we had the worst run game in the NFL. This year, we actually have a run game. And guess what? Our quarterback can't, whatever. And I will say, it is not all his fault, okay? I put 70% of the blame on him. I think Sean Payton is not doing enough to help him out, as an offensive coordinator, just as a pure offensive coordinator. I think, the weapons aren't doing their fair share. I think Troy Franklin has just been an absolute mess at certain points this year. But yeah, and I think because of all that, because of what we expected coming into the year, I expected Nix to be further along in his development. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. And, where I think the rest of this fan base is coming from is I think we all just wanted more. I expected more. I never thought it'd be easy, but, I thought we did all the right things. I thought, we had all the right guys. We have the strongest trenches on both sides of the football in the NFL, in my opinion. And the fact that we're winning games like this, we're going to be an early exit in January if this continues. Like, that's just the bottom line. Okay. I know he has the clutch gene. I know he's won us some games, but there is just no way we can beat the class of the AFC playing like the way we have.
But who's the class of the AFC?
That was my question. That's the benefit we have this year is there's not really an elite team. The best team in the NFL is the Rams right now.
Like, I saw the 2015 Denver Broncos, who had like a brain and like a noodle for an arm left, beat the New England Patriots twice in that season. And they did it because they were just like had a great defense and had the clutch gene. So I don't know. Like, that's the thing. I'm not saying like we should just be comfortable with not being good and like let's just settle down and like let's just settle in and that's what it is. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is like who scares you in the AFC? Like, nobody. I don't. Like, we had the Colts. We lost to the Colts on a bad call. Like, we had them. And, you know, maybe the Patriots are like legit, but like they've won one game against Tampa Bay this last week. And, you know, okay. But like the Bills, if we're frauds for barely beating Las Vegas, what is the Bills when they can't beat the Dolphins?
Yeah.
What are the Chiefs when they're 5-4? Like, I'm not like, look, the Chiefs are the Chiefs until they lose. I have to see it happen in the playoffs. I'm not one of those people who are like, they're done. No way. But I just I'm not scared of anybody in this AFC at all. And like any certain week we can beat anybody. And we've won 7 games in a row against the best. The Philly, like, you know, all the we have like statement wins. So that's the thing. People are just saying like, oh, we're frauds and we're early exits. You can't know that, especially with a great defense. You're never out.
Well, yeah, you're never out of the picture. And, you know, that's a very valid point, is that the AFC is absolutely wide open this year. But, man, you're not going to be able to get away with playing against the whoever like you did on Thursday night. You're not going to be able to get away with playing against, you know, whoever's a 1 seed in the AFC if you happen to match up against them, you know, and presumably on the road if that's the case. But, yeah, I get it. The AFC is wide open this year. I get that we can hang with anyone. Okay. That's why I feel good about the state of this team. I feel like we're going to make some noise in the playoffs regardless, but you know, based on what's gone on, I just don't feel good about this offense right now. I don't think anybody does. And you know what, we can point fingers wherever we want, but it's all a problem. Okay. Even as much as I've talked about the quarterback, you know, Sean Payton needs to be a lot better. Okay. As an offensive coordinator, the weapons need to be better. The penalties need to stop. You know, I don't know if that's a coaching problem or an execution problem, but overall, we just need to be better. And the fact that we're 8-2 right now, hey, huge testament to the guys. But we haven't played our best football yet. And we have a good opportunity on Sunday to prove that we can.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is it's the last taste in your mouth, and it's bad. But like 2 weeks ago, Bo didn't finish the game because we were up by too much. Like, I know that was Dallas, but like we just were going into that game. Nobody was saying, "Oh, we're going to cruise because it's Dallas." We said that after the game once we destroyed them.
We were like, "Can we keep up?"
Yeah, remember? Can Bo and the offense keep up? Yeah. They did. And then you go on the road against probably the best defense. If it's not us, it's them, Houston, and you dealt with them. And you had 2 like touchdowns that were clutch there. So like they just have won so many different ways that I can't be like, oh, we're one and done. Like, you've won it big, you've won it small, you've won ugly, you've won clutch, you've won so many. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that takes a lot to win. We've seen so many years where we didn't do it that it's like I can't just throw it away just because it's not the way we want it to look. Okay, so my last question. If anybody has,
okay, I got a couple afterwards. So
okay, my last question for you guys. One was the theory that Sean purposely played possum against the Raiders because he didn't want to show KC anything. I think that's pretty silly. But the last question I have is
it's too close.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to do that, do it when you're up by 2 touchdowns or something. What does it mean if we beat the Chiefs? And then what does it mean if we lose to the Chiefs?
Oh, okay.
9-2 or 8-3.
Basically, I mean, like, you know, mentally or, you know, spiritually as the team feels.
Dude, I'll say this. If we beat the Chiefs, we're the best team in the AFC. If we lose to the Chiefs, we're the best team in the AFC that just had an off week, baby. Because we can go beat them in Kansas City. We almost did it last year. We can do it again, but finish the job this time, man. I kind of going back to your question you asked, Mark. I definitely do feel like Kansas City has more to lose with this game. I think we have a ton to prove, and it does kind of put us on the map if we beat them this week. But I'm not going to be if we lose, be talking about this team like they're frauds. We're still too good of a team.
Cody, how do you feel if we win this game? Are you going to feel different?
Yes, 1000%. Is if we can hang with KC and if you can take a 3-game lead on the Kansas City Chiefs, because, you know, quite frankly, against the Bengals and the Cowboys, we destroyed them. But it's kind of been tough sledding throughout the year, whether we want to admit it or not. You know, yes, we had all those fourth quarter comebacks, but we were down in all those games for a reason. So, yeah, but if we can manage to pull it off against Kansas City, that proves that we can win close. You know, we've won close all year, and that's fantastic. But we need to do it against the team that's been the thorn of our side, okay? We need to do it against the team that's been to the AFC Championship, you know, 7 out of the last however many years, 8, I think. So if we can dethrone Kansas City in a season where we had legit expectations to potentially win the division, to potentially go even further than that, then yes, I'll feel amazing. If we can't beat it, then it's just simple. The team is not there yet. And once again, I don't think that's a microcosm of any one particular cause, but it just means we're not there yet. And we'll revisit that discussion next Monday after the contest is played. But, you know, it can sometimes be as simple as that.
Yeah. Mark, what do you think?
I think if we beat the Chiefs, I mean, obviously, I think it'll be a huge positive. It would be a great thing for this team. Would it change the way that I feel about this team? Not a crazy amount, because they've kind of proven to me that, like, they can hang with everybody if they put a good performance. I think what it does do is it increases the chances by quite a bit that we would probably face KC in the playoffs. Unless they completely falter, I still think they might sneak in to the playoff race.
Man, that would be insane.
And that really, like, freaks me out. Like, obviously, and this is a pretty obvious statement, but, like, if we lost to the Chiefs in both of our regular season games, but then we were the team to dethrone them and kick them out of the playoffs, that's the most satisfying thing ever. Like, that's the ultimate top of the top.
Yeah.
But that's only like, that's a big if, right? But then again, on the flip side, if you beat them in both the regular season games, you're like, who's your daddy? And then we play them in the playoffs and they beat us, then it's like all for none. So the unique thing about the Chiefs or the Chargers, which are the two, like, competing teams in the division, is like, yeah, it's good to beat them in the regular season, but what really matters is what happens in the playoffs. Like, Bills fans were always so high. We're 5-1 against Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. Didn't matter. I told my buddy last year when they beat him in the regular season, I'm like, you guys would have been better off losing and winning later, because if you face them again in the playoffs, they're going to beat you. So with Kansas City specifically, that's really the measuring stick, is can you beat, because it doesn't matter how good you look in the regular season and you can beat them. Can you beat them in January? And that's something we're fixing to find out.
Yeah. Well, 1997, that's exactly what happened. Is we lost to Kansas City on a freaking ridiculous field goal to lose the game. That was going to cost us the AFC West. It did. They got the first round bye. We had to go on the road in the wild card. And then it was like revenge tour, because it was like wild card game. It was Jacksonville, who we had lost to the year before, won that game, go into KC, who has been sitting for a week, beat them in a super tight clutch game, then go on the road to Pittsburgh, where we handle them and Cordell Stewart and Bill Cowher. And then we go to the Super Bowl and try to face the demons that the AFC hadn't won a Super Bowl in 13 years. So it was just like an unbelievable run, but it was that. It doesn't matter what happens in the regular season. It only matters what happens in the playoffs. So,
I love this theory from Anthony here, calling it, we give away week 18 to keep the Chiefs out the playoffs by letting the Chargers win. Wouldn't that just be beautiful, man? Wouldn't that just be beautiful? I have a giddy up or hold your horses.
Okay.
It's for you, Jeremy, but anybody else can chime in. Were the comments by Chase Daniel and Colin Cowherd on Friday motivated by something Sean Payton said to them?
Yeah, probably. It seems weird, because Colin Cowherd is like, oh, he's been ride or die Bo Nix for like the whole season, and then he flipped it hard, and I was just like, wait, where is this coming from? And then Chase Daniel, we all know he's like super tight with Sean. He like was in his offense forever and all that. But I don't think it's like you better perform or else type of a thing. I think Sean just is like that guy who knows how to motivate. Like he knows how to throw things. There's no way you'll ever convince me that Sean Payton is ready to move on from Bo Nix like that
Not
fast.
a chance in hell.
Not a chance in hell.
Not a chance. There's
So
a better chance of the world ending than
he's
that.
gone.
There's 0% chance.
Yeah, he's professed his love to any and every single person who's willing to listen for 2 years since he drafted him. And so for him to be like, oh, well, he didn't play very good against, a couple games, I'm out. There's no way. I honestly do feel like Sean is like, he's a meddler, dude. He knows how to motivate teams. He comes from Parcells, man. Parcells is like, when you're winning, you go hard. And when you lose, you go nice. That's how you do it. It's all psychology for these guys. And so I don't doubt that he was being like, hey, do me a solid. Say throw these things out here into the ether and see how people react.
Make it feel like, yeah, we're coming off a loss. Yeah, it's interesting. What do y'all feel any different about that? Because the last couple of days I have started to kind of feel like it's like a 4D chess type of thing.
Yeah, I think I was thinking about this earlier when I was mowing my lawn, actually, because they were talking about it on the radio. I think he probably said something for similar reasons to what Jeremy said, but I think a big thing that he regrets big time is putting all the expectations and talking about Bo Nix being top 5 in a league and this team's winning a Super Bowl and all that kind of stuff. I think he's realizing that was just irresponsible in every way, but way added pressure on a quarterback when you did not need to. And so this is kind of a way through the media to like, hey, back off, talk a little bit of crap, like lower the expectations type of a thing. It wouldn't surprise me, man. I mean, Sean Payton does crazy stuff all the time, but there is an absolute 0% chance that in the next, as long as Sean Payton is the quarterback of the Denver Broncos, he is tied to the hip with Bo Nix. He has staked his legacy with Bo. And unless there's like an injury or something, that is the quarterback that he's rolling with. I mean, or it's got to be like Bo Nix looks like the absolute worst quarterback by far and away. No chance that he moves on or drafts another guy.
Well said, Mark. Well said, Mark. Kodiak, any other thoughts on that?
No, I mean, you already know Sean Payton. He's been in broadcasting before. Like, obviously, he was really tight with Coward. He came on his show like every week when Sean Payton took the year off of coaching. Obviously, we know who Sean Payton likes in the media, and his name is not Evan. It's Kay Adams. It's Chase Daniel. It's Colin Coward. So, yeah, that's how I feel. Nothing that Jeremy and Mark haven't already said. But, yeah, I do think this was a little smoke, I do think that Sean Payton, during the meeting Wednesday, when they're really gearing up for this game, I think he's going to be like, hey, guys, look what we're seeing. Look what we're seeing. Because they took the fact that we had a 5.5 win total and they embraced it last year. They embraced it. And I think that's part of the reason why we were so dangerous is because we had no expectations coming into the year. People called us the worst roster. And that was, a real huge fuel for the fire for not only this coaching staff, but for this team. So, yeah, I definitely think there's Sean Payton's fingerprints all over that one. And, we'll see how Bo Nix can react to it and the offense can react to it in general.
Yeah, we're definitely the worst 8-2 team. That is, that's what everybody's saying right now. So I love the added motivation, the bulletin board material. Shall we get to kind of our predictions or keys to the game against the Chiefs? And then I guess we can wrap things up. Yeah, appreciate everybody in the comments. And yeah, we've talked about this a little bit, but we can kind of go around the horn here. But yeah, do you guys think we're going to beat the Chiefs? Right now, this team hasn't given me enough reasons to believe why we can't. This is an inconsistent Chiefs team, albeit we're a little bit inconsistent too. But right now, I feel like we're a better football team. And people are talking about Bo Nix not having a great year or whatever. Patrick Mahomes hasn't exactly had a year up to his standards as well. So I think him and Bo are right neck and neck with completion percentage going into this matchup, which I find pretty interesting. But yeah, being at home, this is a game in which I expect the Broncos to to win. And I think it all comes down to, can the offense put up 17 points? Can they do that? What do you guys think?
I personally don't think we win this game. I think we win the game on Christmas Eve, and maybe that's just because I don't want my Christmas ruined
That
more than anything. I think right now this team is this might sound really like bad or stupid, and it might come back to bite me, but I kind of feel like they maybe need to lose or get their ass kicked a little bit, maybe even embarrassed, in order to like really switch things up and fix it. Unless it does, then I think they'll perform well. It's only kind of normal. You see it in all sorts of sports. Like, you can always say it's good to win games, but still have things to fix and work on. But you never really hone in and take it as serious until you're actually not winning anymore, right? Because in the back of your mind, you're always like you're winning. So it might be this game. It's hard. Like, I feel optimistic about the game. I really do. And I was talking to some buddies about it. Like, my gut feeling is like I think we're gonna perform well and maybe win. But I gotta just revert back to what my head was saying when I was watching them on Thursday. Like, if this is how inconsistent our offense is going to be, a team like the Chiefs is going to destroy us. And would it be the end of the world? Absolutely not. But I think the biggest key to the game is going to be Bo Nix keeping drives alive with his legs. I'd like to see him run a lot more, not shy away from it, get the offense in a rhythm, get him confident. And then I think good things will be able to really spiral from there. So that's going to be a big key. And then another one is going to be, the Chiefs arguably have the best special teams coach for real and the best special teams units consistently with Dave Tobe and that whole that whole staff. So it's going to be a good test for the special teams to see, where we're at, because we can't, like, we already have a lot of things we're trying to figure out on offense, and our defense is freaking dominating, and just special teams just got to be quiet. They just got to be in the background doing their job. Don't make any noise in the game. And they've made noise in every single game, good or bad. Man. So I don't want to hear no noise. Mostly bad.
Do you think Pat Surtain will play?
I don't.
I would hold him out. I think he's a huge key. That's another reason why I don't think we would ultimately win this game and we win later, because of Rashee Rice and also Travis Kelce. So I don't think he does, even if he's healthy too. It's similar to J.K. Dobbins, man. You got the bye in the back. Why not make sure that everyone's healthy, ready to go for the hardest stretch of the season?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like, I don't know. I just am a person that kind of feels like everything happens for a reason in this life and in this world. And it feels like the noise has gotten so insane for a team that's 8-2 and, is winning 7 straight games. And it's like, why is this happening?
Because we're not in New York. That's why.
I guess. But it's just like the last time it felt like this was like the Tebow year. And it was like, everybody's, you suck. And then we just kept winning, or then we sucked for a little while. And then we get to the playoffs and we beat Pittsburgh. It just feels like, I don't know. There's a lot going on that's so extra that doesn't need to be. And I always am like, why is this happening? Why is this going on? There's got to be a bigger reason. I feel like they're going to use all of this as motivation to be like, we're still disrespected. I agree 100% with what Mark said about sometimes it does take getting your ass kicked and having an embarrassment for you to correct something. This team has been on a completely different journey since we lost 70-20. And that was one of those turning point moments for this team and for the Dolphins, unfortunately for them, where the two teams went like that. And I feel like this has gotten so bad that it was a loss. Like, we won on the record, but like no one would have you believe we won that game. Mm-hmm. And so it is an embarrassment. And then you add the extra, like, Alex Singleton, like, news.
I was just about to say, yeah.
I just think there's swirls going on right now. And I don't know. I was walking my dog earlier and there was a unbelievably beautiful orange sunset tonight. And I was just like, something's up. Something's up right now. And I could be totally wrong. And we could get blown out, but if we get to Patrick Mahomes, if we can get pressure on him with 4, I think we win the game. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Like, he hasn't struggled this year with pressure, and his offensive line has been banged up and all those things. So I just feel like if Benito, Allen, Cooper have a day, I think Bo will fix it enough. I think Sean will have something in planned. I think this team will be on like lit up from all the other stuff that's happened. I think we could win the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm curious what you guys think too about what we do with Alex Singleton. I imagine he'll honestly be back for the Commanders game as long as everything, tests out okay. I think I saw a report 7 to 10 days normally after the procedure.
Really?
He should be good to go. So I'm glad they caught it early. I've had family members that have had cancerous tumors removed and, back at work after a couple weeks. So, because it didn't spread. So, yeah, hopefully it's just that simple for him. I'm curious what you guys think in terms of who gets the green dot. Obviously, Justin Sternad's going to be there in 2 linebacker sets with Dre Greenlaw, but do you think like this might be the game in which we finally see Dre Greenlaw play like the whole game? If so, I like our chances more compared to if Justin Sternad's going to be like that one linebacker out there if we're in dime.
I mean, I don't know why you would be like put Greenlaw in a pitch count if this wasn't the plan for him. Like, obviously, the Singleton stuff was very unforeseen, but I don't know why you'd put Greenlaw in a pitch count if this was not your like penciled in. Like, all right, we're gonna have him like really ramp up in this date. What do you guys think?
I agree, but like going from like pitch count to being now full on and we trust you with the green dot is like 2 different things. So I don't know. I mean, I think he'll definitely get more snaps than he's gotten all year for sure. And I think that was the target for sure. But the green dot's different. And I could see them giving it to like Hufunga or one of the safeties. You know what I mean?
or Sternad. Because I think Sternad did it at least last year when Alex Singleton was out, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was the green dot guy.
I thought it was Barton
at some point.
I thought it was Barton too.
But yeah. Might have been Barton, but I feel like there was a few games where maybe even Barton was out. I can't remember. But that's a really good point, actually, really good question. So
yeah,
I don't know.
But I think Sternad does add some more speed to the linebacker room with him out there, with him and Greenlaw, and so I think in pass coverage it's going to be really good. But yeah, a big question coming into this game is whoever is now making those calls. Can they make them correctly and get everybody lined up as Alex Singleton was doing? So, yeah, and to miss one of your captains. But I think we go out and give a good effort. That's the optimist in me. And until the Broncos don't get up for a big game, I'm going to think that they give up. They get up for this one and they get the dub at home. At home, I hope so. Even without Pat Surtain, that's the one thing that really worries me, even more so than J.K. Dobbins, is Pat Surtain. Yeah. Any other thoughts, Kodiak? You didn't give your prediction. You think we win this game? You think we drop it?
Well, first of all, I've been waiting 7 minutes to respond to this comment from Justin Howell. He said, I can't believe our fans were booing Bo Nix. It makes us look bad as fans across the league. First of all, you don't owe anything to your professional sports team, okay? Some people paid $300, $400, $500, and our only form of expression is being able to cheer and it's being able to boo. So, and it's not directed at Nix in particular, even though I know what you meant with your comment, but, I didn't expect us to go 12 or 3 and out 12 times against the Raiders. So I would have booed if I was there. That's all I'm going to say in that comment as well. That being said, do I think we win this game? I would love to end this show on a positive note. I just haven't seen it yet. Like, yes, we've done it all year, but we have not. This team has been a thorn in our side for so long. This team, the defense always holds their own. They always have, even going back to Mahomes' first year. This defense always shows up against Patrick Mahomes. Doesn't matter how shitty they are. Doesn't matter how good they are. They always get up against Mahomes. What's let us down against Kansas City has always been our offense and our special teams. Mm-hmm. That's what lets us down against Kansas City. And with those 2 units being as chaotic and as tumultuous as they have been this year, it's just hard for me to think that with confidence, even if your prediction isn't with a win with confidence, like, it's just hard for me to think we get it done, especially potentially missing Dobbins, probably missing Surtain. I just don't think we get it done. And honestly, it's not going to ruin my day. It's not going to ruin my day if we lose against Kansas City on Sunday. Like, obviously, it's going to suck. We hate them more than any other team, or at least I do. Can't speak for these guys on the panel. But, it's going to suck, but it'll depend on how we lose, if that is the case.
Yeah, not a blocked field goal. the end
Exactly.
of the game.
Now,
right?
we win. I don't give a shit how we do it. If we win, then whatever. 9-2, going to the Super Bowl, booking my flight to Santa Clara already. But yeah, it's going to be a whole lot different, than this win against the Raiders felt on Thursday Night Football. If we can beat the Chiefs in any capacity, I don't care if it's a 2-0 game, then I'll be bricked up. Happy birthday, Mario.
Yes, I love it. Well, guys, I think that's just about it, man. I don't got any other takes. I just hope we win this game. We'll dive into it more on our channels as the game approaches. But man, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Really quick before we end, let's just go around really quick, plug our stuff. We'll start with you, Kodiak, and work our way around. What you got going on? Where do people find you?
All right, so my post-game recaps do really, really well on TikTok. So if you want to argue about Sean Payton, you want to argue about Bo Nix, head over to my TikTok. I always post a recap after every Broncos win, and I post some stuff during the week, or every Broncos loss too. I post some stuff during the week. That being said, if you want to just argue your butt off, go to my TikTok comments. And while you're there, the two guys linked in my bio, the guy above me and the guy on my right on the screen right here, Mark, listed in my bio as well. So make sure you give them a follow as well, because they do way more comprehensive stuff on TikTok than I do. So give them a huge Mahi salute and follow as well. But either way, love you, Broncos country. Even though I know times are, a little odd right now, love y'all. Thank you for giving me the privilege to do this platform.
Absolutely. Mark,
How
what's
do I
going
follow
on at
that
Marky
up, man?
Sports?
How do I follow that up? Yeah, you can catch me, Marky Sports Denver, on YouTube. I'm trying to start posting a little bit more on TikTok. Just kind of honestly keep forgetting that it's a platform. That's kind of my big thing. And then on Twitter at Marky Sports Marky_sports, I think. Denver, maybe? I don't even know what my handle is. I should probably go check. But anyways, I love the Twitter. And yeah, I mean, I'm covering all sorts of Bronco stuff for sure. I really want to start getting into the Avs Nuggets, because they both very much deserve to be talked about. Maybe I'll start a separate channel for them, like our guy David Talks Broncos does with his Buffs channel. I'll call it, Marky Sports, not Broncos or something, because I do love talking about those guys. But yeah, man, it's been a privilege doing this. It's been so much fun. I've met a lot of great people. And even all the people that, like Gregory Miller and all these people that are in my comments, I still got a lot of love for y'all. In fact, Greg makes me laugh so hard. He's the funniest 8-year-old kid I've ever met in my entire life. So hopefully he's in bed sleeping right now. But yeah, this has been an awesome time, man. I appreciate y'all. So
Jeremy, will you be doing a post game this week with Mark?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be doing a post game. Hopefully it'll be a victorious post game. And yeah, you can follow me on YouTube at Broncos Unbridled. And maybe, who knows, maybe I'll sign up and start throwing my different thoughts on TikTok. I don't know. TikTok's a weird one, but
yeah,
we'll see.
it is.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can keep going until this last play of Monday Night Football is left, because they're bringing out Super Bowl 50 champion Brandon McManus.
I was about to say, y'all think McMoney can make this kick?
Is this like a 70-yard kick?
No, it's like I think it's 61.
Oh wow.
For real, in the cold?
I want him to like.
No, I don't think
it'll
he
be
can.
61 or it'll be 61 or 60. They're pulling a Nate Hackett here, right?
Is this to tie it?
Yes.
Yeah, this is to tie it.
At 10? Ooh.
10-7 game.
Depends on how hot the stewardess was on the way out, because remember, he likes the
Oh.
extracurricular activities with them.
He was cleared.
Was he? I don't know. But
And he was, because he got a job right away. He got a job quickly after that.
Also, I'm just going to acknowledge Cody Rube, because they're spamming the comments with Texas Longhorn stuff. So I guess shout out. I love Jade Barron. I love Brandon Jones. I love Malcolm Roach. So I guess hook him.
But I hate the Phoenix Suns, man. Suns suck.
I was about to say, yeah. So
why the
Horns
Suns?
kicker. I hate to break it to you, a college kicker is not making this.
Well, the college, man, they don't treat the kicking balls the same way. That's why all the field goals are going longer now. It's because they got like days to treat them now, as opposed to like a couple hours. Yeah.
Well, he missed the practice kick.
Yeah.
Oh, he kicked it and he missed it and they called timeout.
Mm-hmm.
They iced the kicker.
Well, that's not. You want to miss that one purposely.
I know.
Wait, they took him off the field. They took him off the field to throw a Hail Mary.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
did they really?
wow. We're like, we have no.
Was it short? Is that why? Do you know?
I think so.
It's probably really short. Yeah. Man, I hate YouTube TV. I'm canceling them today, bro. This is trash.
Well, they tried to do a quick out to get it a couple yards closer, and he threw it out of bounds. So now I guess they'll bring him back on.
Yeah, so it's third. I'm looking at it's third down and it's 5 seconds, so they easily could have. At least in Madden, I could have completed it and gotten out of bounds.
Yeah, they ran a play on third down or second down to try to like get a little bit more yardage, but the Eagles were defending the sidelines.
Makes sense.
All right.
Well,
let's see.
I think David's slightly ahead of me, so I'm gonna mute until I see what happens.
Can't wait till all the.
I'll probably see what
People
happens
hate
before
these
all you
games.
guys, but I want to
64-yarder.
Give us the play-by-play. Give us the play-by-play, David. You're ahead.
I think it was blocked or just held incredibly. The snap was not good.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it went wide left.
That reminded me of the kick that he could have made against the Bengals on Monday Night Football in 2015, where remember it just went wide left. Like this one, it wasn't even close. Like, man.
That was like me on NCAA trying to kick a field goal, dude. Just
yeah, when you bump up
completely
to the
shanked it.
Heisman,
You think that was blocked, Kodiak, or was it just a bad hold?
I don't know. Wait, let me check.
Well, now they're giving the replay here.
Oh, wow. Kodiak's got that DirecTV old remote.
No.
Yeah, bro. Holy hell! I haven't seen that thing in a long time.
Yeah, well, 10-7 game. Imagine that.
Snap wasn't great, but that just looked like a shitty kick. It just looked like he just hooked it for whatever reason. Wait.
Hook him.
Yeah, there you go.
About hook 'em.
He called it.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. I mean, the game not only was the same amount of points. I mean, even like the yards and all that is similar.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember McMoney ever making a clutch kick for us after the Super Bowl 50 year.
No, he wasn't clutch.
No.
Nope. I remember being at the game against Houston in 2018 where we could have beat them when Deshaun Watson was on a tear his sophomore year, and I remember he hooked it 50 yards. He hooked wide left.
He only had one good stretch, and it was during the playoffs. He wasn't even that good in the Super Bowl 50 year. Like in the regular season, I remember he had that missed kick against the Bengals, and then we ended up getting a second chance in overtime, and he made it. He had a couple pretty bad misses then too, but yeah, in the playoffs he was nails.
That's all that mattered.
McMoney.
Maybe next time, man. Man, can't believe that's 10-7. Guys, gonna shut this thing down. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Thank you to everybody in the comments. We'll be back next week to hopefully recap a Chiefs win. You can't say we didn't curse the matchup because 2 of us say we win, 2 of us say we don't. So there's no curse going on. That's it. So we'll be back. Go Broncos.
He's grabbed and he's going to be sacked.